Beautiful music, beautiful voices, beautiful faces. Hey guys. The joyous celebration is in the building. Can I get an amen? All right, I won't start preaching. My name is Betty Kialo. This is Joyous Celebration all the way from South Africa. Welcome, guys, to Kenya. You love our country? All right, so these guys have performed in front of millions and millions of people across the world leaders, but tonight they are here just for you. Is that right? Yeah. All right, so they are here to perform. They will be having a very big concert this coming Sunday. But before Sunday, we are here with them today on Friday Briefings. So they will be joining us in a short while together with their directors. Actually, let me just bring in one of their directors. Such a charismatic man. Jabu, come on. Hey, give him a hand, man. All right. Jabu, welcome to KTN.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, how do you pronounce your second name?
Jabu Hlongwane.
Okay, let me. Hlongwane.
Yeah, you got it.
Hlongwane.
Yeah, it's close to the one.
All
yeah,
right, all right. So let me ask. So today, Kenya, we're celebrating the 51st anniversary since we got our independence. What do you like about Kenya?
The people.
The people.
Wow.
Us guys.
You just are warm and friendly. From everybody, from when we boarded in Joburg,
Yeah.
the airways, the people that work at the airplane and stuff, everybody.
Everyone, we're good people. We're very good people.
Yeah,
All right. So how long does it take to just come up with such a beautiful, piece like Tambira, which Kenyans love this song, by the way, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes sometimes preparing it.
Okay.
Because we bring a concept or we bring a song and then we work on it to make it more contemporary,
alive,
and,
energetic.
Yeah, we take some time.
All right, so we'll be knowing more about Jabu and the Joyous Celebration group in a short while. But before then, let's begin with our coverage. The country's security plans will not be derailed by dissenting voices. That was President Uhuru Kenyatta's message during the Jamhuri Day celebrations today. The president defended the much criticized security amendment bill, saying it must be pushed through and whoever has issues with it can either make suggestions on how to improve it or shut up.
The 51st Jamhuri Day celebrations bore the hallmarks of a country driven to the edge by security. Right from the setup, the whole program was championed by the military as the country displayed its prowess and military might from the skies. The message: Kenya was fighting a proxy terror war and security was at stake.
Kila Mkenya pahali popote alipo ajue ya kwamba ikija kupigana vita ya adui lazima tuwe kitu kimoja. Nataka nisi hasa viongozi wenzangu, tukiwa twaja kujadilia mambo ya usalama, tuweke siasa kando.
A visibly agitated president defended the anti-terror amendment bill, saying it is geared towards insulating the country from terror threats. The bill, just like the U.S. Patriotic Act, advocates for indefinite detention, interception of communication at will by the spy agency, prohibition of publishing terror victims' pictures, among others.
An international war is happening in and outside Kenya's borders. We are also confronting highly trained and dangerously armed combatants embedded in our communities. These are not ordinary times, nor are they ordinary challenges.
Uhuru blasted the opposition, saying in no way does the bill violate any fundamental rights.
No freedoms are being curtailed unless, of course, you're a terrorist yourself. Lakini hii ingine ni utoto na ni ujinga, na hivyo ndivyo adui wetu anafurahia, akiona tukipigana sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Jameni, tuheshimiane. Kama uko na maono, let us say it in a civilized manner. No voice is God.
In a tough statement, the media also took a hit from the president on the way terror is covered.
Hatuwezi kuruhusu mambo kama haya. Hatuwezi kukubali. Na kama hatuwezi, kama mtu hawezi kuchukua binu mwenyewe, then the law must be there to prevent you from doing that. Why do you want to cause suffering and pain to your people and give celebration to your enemy? Which country does that? No, hiyo sio uhaki.
Taking cognizance of the several lives lost to terror and general insecurity, the president says Kenya is fighting a proxy terror war that requires international support.
Kenya must enhance its ability to detect, monitor, and eliminate security threats. It must also possess forensic capacity to successfully prosecute terrorists.
And while the country was trying to fix its security, the president rapped the International Criminal Court, saying the ICC was undoing reconciliation efforts in the country. This as the Ugandan president said he will sponsor a withdrawal motion at the Africa Union Summit to pull out all African nations from the Rome Statute.
Liwe liwalo, kushoto kulia, juu chini, mbele na nyuma, taifa la Kenya haliwezi tena kurudi mahali ambapo Wakenya watapigana ama kumwaga damu ama kuharibu mali kwa sababu ya mashindano ya kisiasa.
Ujeuri na dharau wale watu wa Ulaya wanaonyesha kwa bara la Afrika, nataka sisi wote tutoke kwenye koti hiyo ya wazungu wakae na koti yao.
It is our duty as citizens and patriots to make the whole world know that our sovereignty is the collective property of the people and that our own independence is not for sale.
It is the president's stern warning that security is a collective responsibility that knows no boundaries, no borders. Whether called Jubilee or even the international community, the war on Al-Shabaab should be dealt with decisively. And the surest way of doing that is by the Security Laws Amendment Bill that he says curtails no freedom, but that for the Al-Shabaab. Essentially, the president blasting those opposed to the Security Laws Amendment Bill. Samogina, KTN, at the Nyayo National Stadium, Nairobi.
And apart from the speeches, the 51st Jamhuri Day celebrations was a colorful event filled with optimism and a rich display of culture. Francis Mtalaki reports.
It was the second Jamhuri Day under the Jubilee government, and hundreds of Kenyans trooped to the Nyayo National Stadium to hear what the president had to say. Dignitaries and various leaders from the opposition were equally present. In the stadium, it was patriotism depicting various regalia, several groups showing in their unique ways of their love for Kenya. Whether it was through the flags or cultural wardrobe, heritage was on display. Outside, the presidential Land Rover was ready, waiting for the president to arrive in readiness for the start of the ceremony. There was a heavy presence of security officers around the stadium. Moments after 11 a.m., the president arrived and the stadium was packed. Entertained by various artists, President Uhuru Kenyatta himself at one time being drawn in by the beauty of Kenyan talent. This traditional dance all the way from Botswana was a surprise feature during the celebrations. But the climax of the event was the trooping of the colors mounted by the 9th Kenya Rifles Battalion. At the end of it all, the Air Force gave Kenyans a demonstration that this will be hard to forget. Francis Mtalaki, KTN.
From the pomp and color to an unfortunate incident, an administration police officer was last night brutally murdered when unknown assailants attacked an AP camp at Mwanamwenga area in Kaloleni. 2 officers were seriously injured and a police gun stolen by machete-wielding attackers. And as KTN's Coast reporter Francis Ontomo reports, security chiefs are now pointing fingers at members of the outlawed Mombasa Republican Council.
Blood stains on the floor of this house bear the telling marks of a murder most foul. The killing of a police corporal adding to the growing list of officers who have been murdered in cold blood across the country. In the dead of night, the gang said to have numbered about 15 descended upon this camp, and the first target was this officer's house. The motive is still unclear.
At about 10 p.m., some people came to the camp pretending to be people who have come to report an incident. So while they were talking to the officers, the number suddenly started increasing. And when the officers sensed danger, moved back to start preparing, they were attacked.
But as investigations get underway, police are now linking the attack to members of Mombasa Republican Council for what they say is a traceable trend of execution unique with the group.
Jibana, they attacked. Last year, December, Chanagande, they attacked. Previously, in 2012, they have even attacked Kaloleni district headquarters. So it's a trend.
The deceased, identified as Athanas Mutisia, is said to have been deployed here 2 weeks ago to hold brief for a colleague who was away from duty. But even as questions are asked about how a police camp could be caught unawares, the structures are direly wanting. And worryingly too, the camp is manned by just 4 officers.
We look at the environment that our police officers are living in now. This is not conducive. The police officers are exposed. So if themselves are exposed, how do you then expect them to assist us?
Police recovered a J3 rifle and several rounds of ammunition from the incident, with another police arm though still missing. The residents are now living in fear and are calling for the deployment of more officers to arrest the situation.
Ikiwa na police station inaweza kuvamiwa na ni mahali ambapo wako na vifaa vya ambavyo wanaweza kujikinga, sisi wananchi wa kawaida ambao hatuna silaha zozote itakuwaje? Manake mimi kusema kweli hata sikulala.
Events of last night here at Monaminga AP camp continues to puzzle security apparatus here in Kaloleni, but pressure is mounting on the same officers to be able to give answers on the murder of the officer. Francis Ontomwa, KTN, Kaloleni.
A Nairobi businessman has been arrested by police in Buruburu for allegedly shooting his wife dead during a domestic quarrel. The deceased, Linda Wanjiku, was this morning rushed to Jamhuri Hospital with a head injury but was pronounced dead on arrival. Patrick Amimo reports.
27-year-old lawyer Linda Wanjiku was staying at Buruburu Phase 5 extension. Her sister Diana Irungu stayed with Linda and claims she witnessed the scuffle that ended tragically.
She came late. She found out her husband has been there before, and he was angry that she was not yet in the house. So after that, he called and threatened to actually kill her.
She says Linda attempted to escape using her car, but the husband, Erastus Odhiambo, who runs a bar in Buruburu, was allegedly quick to block her path with his car.
The guy jumped in front of a car and pulled her out of the driver's seat, and she fell out of a moving car, and the car went and hit the gate. After that, he went on to hit her and just beat her, and reached a certain point we had almost overpowered him because there were 2 of us and he was alone, and that's when he got angry and pulled out his pistol and cocked it and shot. I tried to pull her up. He kept on pushing her down and kicking her. And no one knows this. I don't know if I should say it in front of my mom, but he was stepping on her stomach.
Linda's mother was yet to come to terms with the sudden death of her daughter. Relatives and friends gathered to condole with the family.
My second born daughter, na nilipata habari karibu saa 9 ya usiku, wanaishi kwake na huyu dada yake, kaniambia ati wanapigana na mume wake.
The family says Linda had been in a steady relationship with the Erastus for over 4 years, and he had allegedly taken her as his second wife.
Wamekaa kwa miaka mitatu. Alianza hata alikuja juzi ndio akakuja kutuona. Katuambia sasa anataka kumuoa formally, tukakubali kwa sababu walikuwa wamezaa mtoto na yeye.
Neighbors who spoke to KTN say the couple occasionally quarreled, but they never imagined one time the domestic quarrels would turn fatal.
Kuna wakati my daughter alikuja akacomplain, akaniambia akilewa ni mtu ako na hasira sana. Sasa hata nikawa ninamwambia achunge sana, kwa sababu tulijua ako na gun, na kila wakati alikuwa analewa na anashika hiyo gun, anaanza kutishatisha nayo watu.
We could not speak to Erastus Odhiambo because he is being held at Buruburu Police Station to assist police with investigations into the incident. Friends and relatives describe the late Linda Wanjiru as a humble lawyer. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Quite disturbing news. Now, the very last stages of the events that led to Kenya attaining her independence can be traced down to one house in Samburu. It is there that Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, negotiated with the senior colonial administrators. And as KTN's Ian Wafula reports, area residents seem not to have a clue about the significance of this house, which is now a national monument.
Somewhere at the heart of Samburu in Maralal lies great history. Only the walls of the Kenyatta House bear the secrets of the meetings and conversations that took place in this very house where Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, resided for a year. But as secret as they are, their outcome is the freedom we enjoy today.
His bringing up here was actually to negotiate our independent struggle with the colonial administrators. And this is what I call baby Kenya. The so-called Kenya was born here.
Originally built in 1959 for senior colonial administrators, it would later end up housing Kenyatta the following year after he was brought in from detention.
Kenyatta was not actually imprisoned here for the fact that he was even free to move around in town, mix with public, eat with them. It's a clear testimony that he was not actual prisoner.
The three-bedroom house still contains some of the antiques used by the founding father. Some, like this landline phone, were used to pass across crucial information.
And what is inside here is a single bed.
While this bed was set aside for prominent visitors. And unknown to many, as John the caretaker says, it was here that the current President Uhuru Kenyatta was conceived. The visitor's book verifies this. After Uhuru visited the house in 2007, he signed off saying it was a pleasure to be back where he was conceived. Among other visitors, his deputy's sign-off on the book says in part, "Great history, both baby Kenya and baby Uhuru Kenyatta were consummated."
And here he is seated next to him, Kimomori.
It is this great history that John Bulliar has tried to protect over the last 8 years since he was employed as the current caretaker. He is, however, concerned at the lack of interest by the surrounding communities.
They consider it like any other house. Probably because they are not enlightened. They have not gone to school to understand the importance of our independence. They even don't know.
The house was gazetted as a national monument in 1977 and is under the care of the National Museums of Kenya. Ian Wafula, KTN, Friday Briefing.
And we are back. Welcome back to KTN Friday Briefing. My guest anchors, of course, the joyous celebration. The whole team wouldn't have been our guest anchors, but we have our guest anchors right here. The directors of the joyous celebration, Jabu Hlongwane.
Yeah,
I've said it right now. And Tunzi Namba. They are the directors, who come up and help the team, come up with beautiful music. Now, you have an amazing team. How do you control, because they are so energetic, how do you calm them down and tell them, okay, so let's work?
we make them drink a lot of water.
A lot of water. Tunzi, you look like the strict one, no, don't do this. You look like the strict one, are you?
No, I'm very gentle. Actually, he's more strict.
He's strict?
Yeah, he's strict. I'm very gentle.
And the team, how can you describe your team? Because it's a big, actually there are about 60 of them who are coming to Kenya.
They're crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah,
I can tell that. I mean, even from the dancing, and you'll get to see how good they can dance, in a short while when we go back, to hear some of the songs. So how have you prepared for this big concert this coming Sunday? How long has it taken you to prepare for this concert?
The basic thing is to get what people here in Kenya like in terms of the songs that we do. And then we try to do as much as we can, including the new material from Joyous 18. So it's a longish list of songs, but exciting because it also takes us back to songs that people loved over the years.
All right.
So we can't wait to do this.
Mtunzi, do you ever think that you can have a joyous celebration here in Kenya, like come up because it's from South Africa? Are you thinking of having this group all across Africa, but starting of course with Kenya? We're good singers, by the way.
Are you? I mean, it will depend on the
not
talent.
myself, but Kenya.
To be honest, it's not something that we have prepared or planned to do. It depends. It depends on the developments. We are in Kenya. We've not heard the Kenyans sing, so we don't know what kind of talent exists here. So it will have to be a lot of work.
I feel so bad because I can't represent my country today and sing because
you can sing right now.
They say they say you sing as you talk. So if you can talk, they say you can sing. I don't know how true that is.
Well, let's just leave that there because I don't want to be challenged anymore. How do you come up with with the team? How do you select the people who are part of the team?
What we normally do is to do auditions where we open up and people come and sing and we then choose who we think has what we're looking for. But sometimes I'm in some church, I hear somebody sing or somebody refers somebody to us and then we listen to them and then we choose from there.
And what's the reception like everywhere you go to perform?
It's been amazing.
Because I know in Kenya we're really, I'm very sure people are waiting for this Sunday. But generally, how do people embrace, this kind of music?
I mean, from different countries?
Yeah.
We were in Swaziland last week. The reception is always amazing because now Joyous Celebration, the music has gone global. So people all over the world know the songs, know about Joyous. So when we visit each country, the response is amazing.
All right. So let's talk about this Sunday. What can people expect? The mega concert that's going to be happening at the Nairobi Pentecostal Church in Karen. What can people expect?
Fireworks.
Fireworks? We want to see the fireworks here. Then, we'll rate. We'll be like, okay, this is on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah?
You won't see fireworks in the studio because you don't have the band, you don't have the whole group. But what we promise is we perform like it's our last performance. Everywhere we go, or we don't perform at all. So it's a roller coaster journey through excitement. You're praying one time, you're dancing the next.
Emotions.
By the time the 4 hours or so ends, you are exhausted but happy and peaceful.
Can you say that you've been able to change lives through your music?
Oh yeah, a lot of people have been touched. A lot of people, as he says, a lot of people have been healed through music. Has got potential to change life and to heal, to bring about deliverance. And what we're going to hear today is just a foretaste.
Okay, it's just a taste. How about we hear it, Remember, if you have any questions for, the directors, Mtunzi and Jabu, you can tweet me and I'll be sharing the questions with them a little bit later. But for now, let's get to the fun part of this. Let's see some dancing. If you're at home, I'm sure you'll get your dancing shoes on and, dance a bit. All right, so we can actually just head
fireworks.
There. Yeah, let's get some fireworks tonight. Jabu, you know how to control them. You said that.
Okay, let's do this.
Use a controller.
Do this.
Yeah. Dude.
Teach me, you know, a couple.
The dance.
Of course not now, but later. That was amazing. So what does that song say? You know, for our viewers wondering. Okay, so
Uyangiholu Baba means the Lord or my Father leads me into the greener pastures.
All right. Beautiful music. Thank you, guys. So we'll get one more song from them. We'll just let them go easy. But let's go back to your seat. The other thing we do here in Kenya, especially on this show, we have, a segment called, the guest anchoring segment, whereby a guest gets to anchor the news. I can't sing. Let me see if you can take my job at least. All right. So you can see the auto cue?
Yeah,
I can see you have very thick glasses.
Yeah.
All right. So take it away. Introduce yourself, why you're in our country, and then take it away.
Okay. Hi, this is Jabu Hlongwane from Joy Celebration. We are here to have a great time with the people in this country and celebrate the independence. But as Joy Celebration, we're celebrating 20 years. So we're going to be having a show on Sunday here in Nairobi. So I'm introducing this story. What if a country could tell its own story or speak for itself? What would Kenya say about herself? Dorcas Wangira now paints the picture of Kenya as a republic that has come of age through the music that has captured and carried the nation's heart, spirit, and soul.
(1963), the sound of independence was everywhere, but when she became a republic in 1964, it was almost as if she had been born again. A new wind of hope, expectation. Everyone felt good. There was love, lines of class still drawn. Fadhili Williams knew it. Sal Davis was there. And he sang from Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the first Prime Minister, the first President. Daudi Kabaka, many called him the king of East African twist. The spirit of Harambee lived on, but even a young republic sees its darkest days, loses its finest sons, and sees constant power struggles. She was not going to fail. In 1969, there was just one party. The 70s had soul, change, growth, how rich Kenya was, until Mzee died and another era began. The Nyayo era, where the choral voices, persuasive and organized, were sung to win the loyalty of the people. An era of patriotism, songs of praise for the father of the nation. Yet at the same time, detention without trial, negative ethnicity, the violence that went with it. No one sang about it. There was just one voice, one medium for expression. Many people found solace in the music. Some sounds were our own, others were borrowed. After all, Kenya was the regional giant, the hub of peace and prosperity. The 90s were a defining moment. The clamor for multipartyism, voices were getting bolder, more daring. It was the era of faith and gospel music. And as a new century, a new millennium would begin, it was evident that an era was about to end. and new generations of musicians had received the baton. Some said the music was loud, angry, was losing that authentic sound. But there was a consciousness and activism that had never been seen before. And in 2002, the writing was on the wall, ushering in a new government, a rainbow coalition full of promise and hope for everyone, stability, prosperity, growth, change, reform. But things weren't always like this. One election outcome in 2007 put a knife on the things that held us together. And just like that, thousands were left dead, displaced.
This is peace. This is love.
At 50, another turning point, the election of 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta became president. History will judge if he is like his father. His government, they say, is a digital government with a younger face. The torch has been passed to a younger generation. There is a band, Sauti Soul.
They would definitely be proud, you know. Yeah, they would say, yeah, you know, those boys are carrying the flag of Kenya since way back, and they like that.
The next generation needs to be proud of who they are. If you're Kenyan, if you're Luo, you're Kikuyu, you're Kalenjin, be proud of who you are.
Sometimes one wonders if the generations that come will understand what it took to get here. Dorcas Wangira, KTN.
Right. Okay, don't worry. He's making. He's trying to control the crowd from the group from here. Jabu, just let them be. They're having a lot of fun in studio. All right. So, how do you think you fared?
I think I'm natural.
Okay, actually, I'll give you 98%.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And someone here, Isaiah Opondo, he's saying that Jabu is almost, taking your job. He's almost outdoing you. Really, Isaiah?
I'm not going home.
Mtanzi, how do you think he fared?
He's my boy. He did well.
Okay. All right, I think you guys are ganging up on me. All right, so we're about to take a short break. But before then, let's have a favorite of so many of us.
Yes.
Ichokwadi.
Okay.
Ichokwadi.
Let's go to it.
All right.
Ichokwadi.
You're nice.
We're good people. Yeah, we're good people.
All right, so we'll need to ask a question, and then the 5 people, because there are 5 tickets, the 5 people to tweet me through the hashtag Friday Briefing will get a ticket to the Sunday mega concert at the NPC Karen. Now, what should we ask, Mtunze?
Where is the concert?
Where is the concert?
What is the name of this group?
What's the name of the group?
And when is
the
place, the day?
Those are so many questions.
No, only 3.
Okay, so yeah, when is the concert?
It's the venue.
Venue.
The date.
The date.
And what's the name of the group?
And the group.
Yeah.
There you go. The venue. Where is this concert? When is it? And what's the name of this amazing group? That's the question. These are the questions we want you to answer to get this 5 tickets to that very amazing mega concert that's scheduled to happen. I was given leakage there. Okay, so tweet me, hashtag Friday Briefing, tell us those details, and you'll be having a ticket, to go to that concert on that specific day. Well, let's now go over to Word on the Street. Don't go away. If you want the music, you have to stay tuned. But first, Word on the Street with Willis, the Word Master.
Bagiosi.
Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Bogacy. 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 Bourgeoisie. 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 Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Bagaiza. Bagaiza.
Bourgeoisie. 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 Bargois. Bargois. Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Well, it's that time that we learn some proper English pronunciations with none other than Willis, the Word Master, coming to us straight from Kisumu County. Willis, is it a coincidence, or I'm sure people are wondering if we planned to wear this royal purple?
Well, I'm also wondering why we have this coincidence, because, royal purple in Kisumu and Nairobi, it's a big coincidence, but to me it's a telling image of a tough night for our run tonight.
All right, I'm sure it's a tough night. Let's get to the first tough word. You've heard Kenyans there, I think this is the hardest word we've ever given our Kenyans on the street. Is it bourgeoisie, 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 bourgeoisie? Varying pronunciations there. What is that word, Willis?
Betty, we say bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. It's a very tricky French word or a borrowed word from French. So some would even say bourgeois, bourgeoisie and all that, but the correct or acceptable pronunciation is bourgeoisie.
Okay, bourgeoisie. And Willis, are there words in English that are unpronounceable?
Well, this is a tricky one, not unpronounceable as such, but very tricky. We have certain words which may be foreign, some may be too long, and all that. This one can be pronounced, but very tricky.
Very tricky. All right, Willis, let's get straight to our second word. Do we say adult or adult? It's a simple word, but varying pronunciations.
What we should understand is that in this word, U-L-T is alt. Alt. Letter U takes the mid-central vowel sound adult. But you can also say adult. So we also have cult. Cult. Not cult. Not catapult. We say catapult. And we say adult or adult, not adult.
Okay, Willis, let's get straight to our second word. Do we say constituency or constituency?
Well, when we are using the British English pronunciation, which in most cases is recognized as the most standard one for serious communication, we say constituency. constituency.
Okay.
But the Americans or the North American pronunciation is constituency.
Okay.
So both can be used, but if we pick the British pronunciation, we say constituency.
Constituency. All right, got that one. Moving on to our fourth word. This mishap, like a mistake, something that happened that shouldn't have happened. Is it mishap? Do you pronounce that H, or is it mishap?
We don't have what we call a consonant digraph in that word. S and H are articulated separately, not as sh. We say mishap, mishap. So S on its own, H on its own. Just like mishit or mishandle. We don't say mishandle, mishit. No, mishap.
All right, mishap. Got that one, Willis. So it's also not mishap. The H, you actually pronounce the H.
Yes.
All right, Willis. Let's get straight to another word. Duodenum, duodenum. I know you remember this word from your biology. I do. I remember this word, meaning the first part of the small intestines, I'm sure. Is it duodenum or duodenum? This one was asked by students who want to know the pronunciation.
Well, Betty, some of these words, we mispronounce them because of what we had our teachers, our handlers, and even what we hear from TV or radio.
Yes.
But when we say that we want now to talk about the standard or acceptable pronunciation of this word, we say duodenum, duodenum, not duodenum the way it's normally said.
Duodenum. That's a surprise, Willis.
Duodenum.
Duodenum. Hey, that one is a surprise. I'm sure. Duodenum. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Willis.
We say duodenum.
Okay, Willis. Got it. That one will help very many people, especially in primary school. Let's move on to the next word.
I know.
This word, hibiscus. I've had a colleague of mine in the newsroom saying hibiscus, and I was like, that's wrong. Who was right, Willis? Is it me or my colleague? Is it hibiscus or hibiscus?
The colleague is right. The colleague is right.
Okay.
Hibiscus. But remember, when we're talking of this tropical plant, the tropical plant is also pronounced as hibiscus or hibiscus. Hibiscus, hibiscus. You remember I talked of finance and finance the other time.
Yes. All right. So it's both words are correct. Okay, Willis. Moving on to our feedback question. Breathalyzer. Help us on that word, Willis.
I think somebody called Joseph Mayo of Kisi asked me that question too on Twitter. Anyway, we say breathalyzer, breathalyzer, not breathalyzer, not breathalyzer. It's just a flat one with a primary stress or at the onset. Breathalyzer.
Breathalyzer. Well, let's get straight to your surprise word. I'm sure the duodenum should have been our surprise word, but do you have any other surprises for tonight?
Betty, sometimes we have to keep it simple. For us to, talk to everybody. Well, Betty, we have to keep it simple sometimes for everybody to be following us. And in this case, when we talk of the scale of temperature, that is CELSIUS, many people say Celsius, Celsius. We don't have the sound sh in that word. It's Celsius, Celsius, S-I-U-S, Celsius. Degrees Celsius, not Celsius, the way many people say it.
All right, Willis, that's a big surprise. Celsius, not Celsius. That also goes back to our schools, our teachers, and the pupils. Celsius, got that one, Willis. Willis, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you very much for tonight's lesson.
It's always my pleasure to be on my seat for the favorite segment.
Willis, the word master there, coming to us from Kisumu County, teaching us those tough English pronunciations. Remember, you can catch him on Twitter. His handle is @WillisOchieng1. This has been Mind Your Language right here on Friday Briefing.
A very good evening and welcome to today's edition of KTN Sports. My name is Moses Wahesi. Now, starting us off, Police of Democratic Republic of Congo Club have retained their East Africa handball title. The Congo servicemen edged out a rejuvenated Uganda Prison 36-28 in the finals played at the Nyayo Stadium. An impressive Ugandan Prison who had earlier cruised to victory past Kenya Defence Forces in the semi-finals that started on an attacking gear. Akena Domineke with 7 points led their attacks, but his efforts failed to meet Congo's cut. Jamal Mbeza got 7 points for Congo to aid his side take a 2014 halftime lead. After the breather, it was a Congo party for final 36-28 victory. Now moving on. Laila Sirigwa was outstanding performance, was very instrumental as the Lunchbar Queens outwitted their perennial rivals Total Nondis to win 18-14 in their Kenyan Cup match this afternoon. But the day belonged to KCB, who climbed on top of the table after rolling over Impala 23-2. Robinson Okenye has the details.
Rivalry was renewed as Kenyan rugby powerhouses Lunchbar Queens and Nondis took center stage as they faced off in a thrilling and energy-sapping encounter. Queens dominated early when Lyle Asligwa successfully kicked over a penalty that gave Queens a 3-0 lead. Brian Miner's fast break 5 minutes later delivered the first try of the game to give Queens an 8-0 lead. Nondi searched for answers in vain as Asligwa kicked over a second penalty to increase Queens' lead to 11-0 at halftime. Nondi suffered more misery in the second half as they trailed 18-0. This prompted an energy-driven response from Nondis, who scored quick tries to reduce the deficit by 14 by the time the final whistle went off. The victory pushed Queens to 5th place, while Nondi settles for 7th going into Saturday's matches. In another thrilling encounter, Kenya Commercial Bank sent an early signal and intentions of winning this season's edition. The bankers demolished Impara's Hurricanes 22-3. Darwin Mkitsa had an outstanding performance, adding 10 points for the Ruaraka-based side. The win propelled KCB to the summit of the league with 23 points. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
Very much thanks to Robinson for that piece. And still in matters of rugby, lovers of beach rugby got their fair share of entertainment in the Malindi Beach Rugby Tournament today, which was bullied off at the beach resort in Malindi. And in basketball, defending men's league champions Cooperative Bank of Kenya surrendered their title after losing to KPA in a match at the semi-finals. KPA subsequently stamped their ticket to the finals, with USIU secured a 78-60 win against Ulinzi. A resilient USIU is on the verge of qualifying for this year's Kenya Basketball Premier League finals after securing an important win against Ulinzi Warriors. Kevin Kigodho was instrumental in the varsity's side victory with his contribution of 15 points that were well complemented by 15 more by Aden Sang. Victor Odendo sank in 9 points to lead Ulinzi's scoring chart with 18 points, but that was not enough for his side that lost 78-60. In another tie, Cooperative Bank got their that beating after a 74-55 scoreline against KPA. With the victory, KPA booked their final slot where they will take the winners between USIU and Ulinzi, who face off at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Elsewhere, the inaugural Malindi Beach Rugby Tournament kicked off at the Ocean Beach Resort in Malindi. Pwani Sharks rushed Purple Bulls 7-0 before overcoming Marine 2-3-2 in Pool A. In Pool B, South Coast Pirates cruised past Malindi 2-3-1. The finals are slotted for Saturday, where winners will walk away with 150,000 Kenyan shillings. Arsenal may have, who have already qualified to the second round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League, will have a very hard time in the Barclays Premier League front. The Gunners are yet to discover their footing. They will be facing a Newcastle side buoyed by their 2-1 win over league leaders Chelsea. Hassan Juma looks at the two sides' teams and the chances in the Saturday's match.
Welcome to another interesting edition of Sports Pesa Match Analysis. I'm your host, Hassan Juma, and I'm joined by my analyst, Ida. Ida,
Yes, Hassan.
Arsenal versus Newcastle.
Yes, sir.
Arsenal versus Newcastle. This is a very big match because Arsenal lost ground 3-2 to Stoke last weekend. Was it expected?
It was definitely, it was very even placed, I can say, between the teams, but Arsenal had everything to win, and they ended up losing it. We saw the banners all over telling Wenger to get out. He was booed going into a train at Stoke, and at the end of the day, Mertesacker individually also had a part to play. The fact that he just let the defense down, there was a point in the first half where he actually turned away from a shot. He was giving away balls. The player has 100 caps. He has so much experience that he can give to the players, ended up disappointing. Same thing for Giroud, ended up disappointing on such a big occasion, and that might lead to Welbeck actually just starting in place instead of Giroud. Yeah.
Arsenal without the likes of Chambers, Mikel Arteta, Wilshere, Walcott, what is it that Arsene Wenger needs to do to at least get someone to get those goals?
The thing about Arsenal right now is their performances are extremely inconsistent. I mean, you have the loss against Stoke, and then you come in and they take it 4-1 against Galatasaray. So Arsenal really just need to bring it together. They have a lot of injuries, as you've said, but they also have players who can do well. Arsene Wenger is under immense pressure. I mean, I think he can learn a lot from Alan Pardew, coming from the fact that just a few months ago, Pardew was in that very seat. The Magpies were calling for him to go, and he changed the game around, and he got in some good wins. Right now they're number 7, Arsenal is number 6, and it's all to play for right now.
So look at the match. I mean, also prediction. Right.
There's some really good players right now. I mean, Ramsey got a fantastic goal against Galatasaray 4-1. I think he's really in form. He got a brace as well. The funny thing about that goal, it was 30-yard shot on the volley. He'd made it on his weaker foot. So he can definitely get in a goal. A player that I think is also extremely underrated, hasn't gotten a lot of start time, is Podolski. He's very clinically dangerous, can also get in a goal. I'm giving this 2-1 to Arsenal.
To Arsenal.
Yes.
The reason I asked you that is because we look at the stats.
Yes.
You know, so many people feel that Arsenal is going to win. The odds favor Arsenal at 1.33, and Newcastle winning is 6.90. So I mean, so many people feel that Arsenal is going to win the match. Talk to us. You know, Newcastle, Arsenal. Which team do you think is going to win? Because talk to us. SMS game 79079, or go to our website sportspesa.com.
Over to you guys.
Sonaga, uchina na Jesu sona, chaisi. Sonaga, sonaga, uchina na Jesu sona. Sonaga, sonaga, uchina na Jesu sona. Sonaga, hey, Kenya sona. Ah!
we just want them to continue and go on and go on. Everyone now, you should see the studio. The studio is so full. I'm always alone here, but tonight I don't know what's happening. Everyone has just come to see them. So I've seen someone say, Tambira, Tambira, but they already did that. Well, if you want to see them in concert, Sunday is the day. Sunday, 3 p.m. at the NPC Karen. You have to be there 3 p.m. on Sunday for that mega concert. This is a joyous celebration. Let me now just, tell you who has won the tickets that we had talked about. Let me get my list here. The very lucky winners, remember we had asked a couple of questions. Emensi Chege, you have a ticket. James Opot, you also have a ticket. Lizzie, she calls herself Nasio Liz. Liz, pia uko na ticket. George Njabia, you also have a ticket. And finally, George Gikunda. So Emensi Chege, James Opot, Lizzie, George Njabia and George Gikunda, you have tickets to that very, very amazing concert that's supposed to take place this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. NPC Karen. If you don't have a ticket, you can get a ticket at the gate because the others are all sold out, right, Ndiema? All right, so that has been Friday Briefing. Thank you so much for watching and keeping it tuned. I'll ask them to just give us Tambira as we wind up the show. Please, guys, please, I beg. Tambira Jehovah, Tambira Jehovah, Tambira Jehovah, Tambira Jehovah.
Yeah.